Hi, my friends. It's Miss T, and we are here for an art lesson. So, a couple of weeks ago, we did a lot of basic shapes. Remember that we practiced drawing a horizontal rectangle, a vertical rectangle. We practiced drawing our square. We practiced drawing circles and ovals. Well, we're going to jump right back into this, and today's lesson is going to be a cityscape. So we're going to be using all of our practice with rectangles and squares to draw our cityscape. Now, what you need your paper, and you need crayons or markers or colored pencils. And if you don't have any of that, then you just get a pencil or you get ballpoint pens. Art can be used with any medium. So I want you to make sure that you find something to draw with. I'm going to use colored pencils today. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to move the camera down so we have a good view of my paper. Okay, I'm going to take, where's my colored pencil? Okay, my colored pencil is getting tiny, but that's okay, it still works. It doesn't matter how short it is. All right, it's also good to have a scrap piece of paper underneath in case when we start coloring, because you're going to be coloring a lot in this art lesson. So make sure you have a scrap piece of paper underneath it so you don't get marks all over your table, which is what I'm doing, and I'm going to have to clean that up soon. The first thing we want to do is we want to draw our horizon line. Our horizon line is going to go from the right side to the left side, or the left side to the right side. And really quick, this right here is called landscape. When we turn our paper like this, that's called portrait. I need for you to make it on the landscape. And let's draw that horizon line right across our paper at the very bottom. Just draw that line straight across, just like that. This horizon line is going to make this our road, but we're not going to work on the road till the end. Right now, we're going to draw the city buildings. And we're going to draw three rectangles, three vertical rectangles. So we're going to come over here, and I am going to tell you to draw up here close to the top, not all the way up to the top, but probably, you see how much of my finger I'm showing? I'm giving myself a little bit of space up here, and draw that line straight across. Then I'm going to connect it to the bottom. So I'm going to draw my line down here, and I'm going to connect it right there. And that is one vertical rectangle. Now I'm going to skip over some space, and I'm going to draw this vertical rectangle a little bit wider than this one. So I come over here, I'm going to draw my line's going to go a little bit longer. And I'm going to go ahead and make that connection right here. And I'm going to connect it. And then I'm going to have my last rectangle. So I'm just going to draw this one. And I'm going to connect this line to the horizon line. And there's my last vertical rectangle. Now, this is a cityscape. So what we're going to do, these are tall buildings. These little spaces in between here in a large city, they would still build another building in here. So I'm going to connect my buildings by just drawing a line, and then I'm going to draw another line. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings in this picture. The next thing we have to do is we are going to draw doors. So each one of these buildings has to have a door because it's how you get into the apartment building. So come over here to the street. This is what this horizon line is going to be. And we're just going to draw a rectangle, another vertical rectangle. So I'm going to put that. I'm going to go ahead and draw my line down. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remember that I have to add my doorknob. So right there, I'm going to put my doorknob. Even this skinny building right here, this very narrow building is going to have a door. So I'm going to come right here. I'm going to draw a vertical rectangle. And what am I going to do? Doorknob. Can't forget the doorknob. Now this building is so wide, I am going to put 2 doors. I am going to put one over here on the right side. What? Doorknob. And I'm going to put one right here on the left side. And I can already hear you say it. Doorknob. Okay, here's another very narrow building, but I'm going to go ahead and create my door with the doorknob. And my last building right here, I'm going to draw my rectangular door. Okay, look at all those doors. Wow. Now, these buildings have to have windows. So we're going to fill all this space up with squares. But in a city, in an apartment building, these are going to have a pattern. So we're going to do rows of windows. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to give it a little bit. That first knuckle space is how much I'm going to go up from this door. And I'm going to come over here to the side and I'm going to draw my first window square. And then right across from that window, I'm going to draw another square. Okay? Now I'm going to use my finger, and I know I'm going to come up one, and I know I'm going to draw another window. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to come straight across and make another square window. I'm going to use my finger, and that's going to give me the distance to draw the base of my last pair of windows. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to come over here, and I think I'm going to be able to squeeze in 4 windows. So I'm going to give myself a little bit space from the door, the top of the door. And I'm going to draw 1 square. I'm going to come right across from that. Even though they're tightly packed in there, that's okay. And give yourself a little bit of space before you draw that last pair of squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is wide. So I'm going to do 3 windows across 3 times. So I'm going to have 3 groups of 3. So I'm going to use my finger space and I'm going to begin to draw my first square. I'm going to go in the middle of the doors, draw the second square, and then I'm going to come right across and I have room for that 3rd square. Right? Absolutely. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and draw a second row of 3. I'm going to give myself a little bit of space. I'm going to come up, make a square, and I'm just going to follow right above this one. And I'm going to keep going till I finish this second row of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have room for my last row of 3. So there we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Look at all those windows. Woohoo! Now, I am only going to do 2 windows in here. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of space from the top of that door frame. And I'm going to draw 1 window. And then right above that, I'm going to put a second window. And back over here, I'm going to go ahead and work with 3 rows of 2. So I'm going to draw my first window. 1. Skip some space. 2. Give myself a little space right here and draw that Bottom of that window. 3, 4. Give myself a little bit of finger space. 5. And come over and draw that other window. 6. Look at that. Look at all those windows. Now all this has to be colored, but let's go down this road real fast. Okay, so I'm going to turn my paper like this. A road has these rectangles that separate the left side from the right side so cars can pass each other on opposite sides of the road. So right down the center of this road, we're going to draw rectangles, skinny rectangles, narrow rectangles, and you're just going to give themselves 2 finger spaces. And then when you go outside, look at the road, and this will look really familiar to you, how this keeps our cars from crashing into each other. Now let me tell you what we have to do. We have to color all of this in. So I'm going to tell you, like right now, the windows, all of the windows are going to be yellow. So you're going to come into all your windows and you're going to color your windows yellow, okay? So I'm just randomly showing you. And then every one of your doors needs to be a different color. So you can just go in that crayon box and just pick up all these different colors and make sure that when you color your doors that you fill in all of that space. You don't want to leave any like little space between how you draw. How you color. So just color it in really, really well. Take your time, because this cityscape really, in the end, when you finish coloring everything, your cityscape is going to look like this. That is a lot of coloring. Now, what I want you to do is, after you color everything, do you see how I went in and made glass pane? So I took my colored pencil and I just go inside each one of those squares and I draw one line and then I cross it with a horizontal line. And that makes it look like I have window panes. Now, if you want to do, and you want to do one line, one vertical line, and give it some different patterns, you absolutely can do that. In big cities, people have different kinds of windows. So you can make a variety if you want to, or you could do the whole pattern the same way by putting that plus sign in your windows. Some windows might not even have the glass pane. And then what I want you to do on this is I want you to draw a circle somewhere in the sky, because this is going to be our sun, and I'm going to use orange, and I'm going to color in my sun orange. Remember, see how I'm going to make sure that I get all those spaces in. Yep, I want to figure that out, and then I want to what I have to do, I want to make my triangles come off of my sun, because I want to make my sun's rays shine down, and I'm going to color those in too. Now you can use yellow or you can use orange. Sometimes I see both of these colors as my sun. And today I just want to have an orange sun, because I can do that. All right, now after you draw your sun and you put the triangles on that circle, then what I want you to do, the last thing I want you to do is I want us to draw 3 clouds in the sky. So I just want us to make these fluffy, puffy clouds. So I want you to play around with drawing clouds and just see how my pencil just goes around in these little tiny circles, but not quite till I connect. You will have your cityscape with the sun and 3 clouds. Let me turn this up. All right, so here's your cityscape. I want you to have fun practicing and playing around with this with your rectangles and your squares. And I want you to use lots of different vibrant colors and make sure you put in the details for your doorknobs and your panes of glass, your 3 clouds and your sun. You'll have a great day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.